Well, it's everything. It's everything, because again, you're controlling the motorcycle with this big part of your body. Again, all the weight is down low, and from here up, there's not really much more motorcycle.
So I feel
all the motorcycles from your hips down. So this is where you need to control. And the more, yeah, we can be on our toes and we can be gripping, but when you paid attention to gripping and paid attention to using your legs, you felt such a difference.
It's fucking crazy.
It was a whole night.
I feel like I have control of the bike.
Now this can relax. When the change, maybe when there's a change that started to kind of flicker in me, because nothing just happens overnight. When people say that, oh, I've stopped this and I don't do that anymore, I said, yeah, just give it a second, and around the corner it's coming again, you know what I mean? Or, all of a sudden I'm born again. Well, hold on, you know what I mean? Nothing happens overnight. So when the flickering kind of happened that, hey, there's something changing, there's something going on, was about, probably about 2002, 2003. I retired in 2002 because of a lot of head injuries, and then that year was kind of a big transition, because I thought maybe my career was going to be done. So there was a lot of is this going to be it? This going to be that? Searching for a different thing, searching for a different path, so to speak. And that's kind of when the flickering started, and I just kept chipping away at it, and just not trying to be anything. That's the thing, is I'm not trying to be religious. I'm not trying to be spiritual. I'm not trying to be holy. I'm not trying to be anything. Nothing. I'm just following what life keeps putting in front of me. And to me, what life keeps putting in front of me are tests. And at the end of these tests are a little of awakenings, a little like results. Did you get an A? Did you get a B? But they're awakenings. And so let's say retiring one time and then having to kind of understand that, and then coming back from it was from a bad injury, and then doing that, and then retiring again for good, and then being, be broken in the back and being paralyzed, to going through losing all my money, losing the house, getting divorced, kids moving out. A lot of things, were tests, and those tests are awakenings, and that's all life is a test. Well, that energy that you created in yourself, that persona, that personality that you created yourself, became a part of the ego, and now that it's gone, you feel that you're alone. You feel empty. You feel like you're dying. But it's not you, it's just the persona that you've created in yourself. So a lot of these things have kind of been very, kind of a struggle in the beginning to comprehend, but once you comprehend, understand, then you just realize that, hey, it's just a lesson, and it's just a test, and there's a door that's open afterwards, but I have to go through it. I have to feel it. I have to not hide it. I have to not try to push it away. And so I guess that's been the biggest thing for me, as you see in my career, in my life. You've never seen me back away from any challenge, any opportunity, any time to represent the United States, whatever it is. I'm the first one to raise my hand. And I have the ability to face it. I have the ability to fight through it. I have the ability to see what's coming out on the other side. Because I feel like I've fucked up my life enough. So I've kind of like just taken my hands off the wheel, so to speak, and just said, okay, hey, life, you know a little bit better than I do, apparently. So I'm just going to flow with it. Whatever you put in front of me, I'm going to be engaged 100%. Because existence only exists in this instant. Not before, not after. It only exists in this instant. Existence does. And existence is what everybody's searching for. That spiritual place, that God, that realm, that heaven, that whatever. It's existence. But it only exists in this instant, So this is what I've learned to try to comprehend, is that just flow and engage with what's right in front of you at this moment. Because we're always trying to become something else. We're always trying to become smarter, more beautiful, more fit, more rich, more powerful, more popular. But in between that becoming and where you're at, there's a gap. And in that gap is fear, anxiety, and unfulfilledness, because you haven't got there yet. So right there is where a lot of people are lost, and I guess I've learned not to try to become anything and just be me, you know, be what I am at the moment. And sometimes I'm sad, and sometimes I'm mad, and sometimes I'm motivated, and sometimes I'm lazy. But I work with all of it because we have all those realms. And too many times are we in our lives trying to only look at one side of us, but we have this other side of us that's inherently in us, but we deny it. And then when we deny anything that's in us, those claws get bigger, right? So we need to make sure that we honor that other side, and that's what I try to do, is allow myself to be lazy sometimes, allow myself to you know, be angry a little bit, allow myself to be this, because then, you know, then I see the other side of it, right? And all that part, and all that's about growing. It's just like training somebody. If I only trained them one way, then I only make them fit one way. But if I train them in so many different ways, well, then I allow them to have a tool for whenever they're challenged, whenever there's a new experience, whenever there's something they're not ready for, they have an answer for. And that's kind of, I guess, where it's kind of all started and where it's all gone. Would the person I am now help me when I was younger in my career? Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think I would have been a lot more relaxed. You know, I wouldn't have been so, I would have had a little bit more fun with it. I would have saw that it didn't mean much. You know, we're just doing it for kicks and giggles. We're doing it for fun, you know what I mean? And when it's done, it's done. And you know, and people want to come to me and say, oh, Ryno, you're my hero and this and this. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I did one thing that got recognition. And one thing may be better than you, but you do 10 things better than me. So don't put me on a pedestal, you get what I'm saying? So, you know, so for me, I've never put myself on a pedestal, nothing like that. So I think having a little bit more fun with it, a little bit more knowing that it wasn't the end of the world, being maybe a little bit more kind of you know, specific about it, instead of just training the hardest, riding the hardest, doing everything the hardest because that's all we knew. Being a little bit more specific about it, being a little bit more pinpointed about it, being a little more scientific, smarter about it. And again, the technique that I use now, it'd have been a whole. I think to me the record books would have been written different. But I just did so many things wrong. But I just didn't know. Nobody was there to teach us, you know? So that's why in my teaching now, I'm not teaching you the way I did it. I'm teaching you better than the way I did it. The only thing I'm teaching you is that I'm teaching the way I did was my discipline, my focus, my intensity, and my consistency. That's it. But the activity of it, completely different. Okay, you can fucking argue with me till you're blue in the face about how they might protect you after the crashes happen. But what about before the crashes happen and where 98% of all riders are at and inefficient? And you go look at all the GP, even though Geiser has won, those two guys that wear the neck braces crash more than anybody. No, I swear to God, because their head is pushed in these ways. And so you can't deny that where the body's at. There's no argument from there. And that's what I'm teaching is before all the what ifs and mistakes and crashes happen. And so when those mistakes and what ifs happen, you're meeting it with such a strong, stable position. So then we limit the crash and injuries. All right? So that's what we're trying to get to. Right, Bob? I'm getting there. I think the biggest thing is that everybody's afraid of me. They're afraid to change too much. They're afraid to go away from what everybody does. You know, they're afraid to look outside the box, but they know my shit works. They know my shit I'm on point. I'm not pulling things out of my ass. This stuff is, you know, things I use are thousands of years old. You know, this is old. This is primal stuff. You know, it's scientific. It's not, you know, it's not bringing something from another sport. It's not bringing something from another idea. You know, so that's one thing is I think people are just afraid of me because I'm outside of the box. I don't take anybody's shit, and they're afraid maybe to work hard. I don't work as hard as everybody else, but I work more specific than everybody else, you know? I'm more pinpointed more than everybody else. So the reason that I work with the lesser guys, because that's who comes to me. I only work with who comes to me. I don't chase. A master's found. A master doesn't chase. You get what I'm saying? So with kids like that, they found me, and so whoever finds me, I'm gonna give you all of me. But if you don't find me, then you're gonna get none of me, except what you find on YouTube and this and this and this. But again, I'm not gonna chase you. I'm not gonna search for you. You know what I mean? I know what I have. I know the knowledge. I know the wisdom. I know the the experience I have, and it's unlike anybody on earth. And I was born with the gift of it, so I'm willing to share it with anybody that is willing to be open enough for me to give it to them. I'm a type of person, I'm a projector, so I'm a teacher, I'm an educator, but I have to be invited. If I'm not invited, then you don't get all of me. If I'm invited, then you get all of me. And invited meaning you're interested in what I have to say, you know, because I'm a teacher, you know what I mean? Not anything else, just that. And so when I have someone like that, then you get all of me and you get, my full force. But if you're not interested, then I have zero interest in you, zero. You know, and that's what everybody, well, why don't you, I don't care about everybody. I could give two shits, you know what I mean? It's not my job, it's not my responsibility. Who's in front of me I care about. That's about it. Or what we need to do is drop the back end a little bit. You get what I'm saying? Because it's riding this way, so I feel like I'm always getting pushed back, right?
Okay.
I don't know, you know? What is that sag at right now?
104.
104.
They're up more, so technically the bike is sitting more like
yeah,
this.
but again, this track is super, really kicky and really rough. So maybe let's drop it down 2 millimeter and or half a turn, and let's see if that's the direction we need to go. Okay, instead of we start fucking with all these controls and it works here, but then it doesn't work anywhere. Half a turn, that's what's going to do on all these tracks. Okay, same in Mammoth. I had to do half a turn, drop it more than I normally run just because of the conditions. So let's just see if that works, and then we do that before we start dicking with all these controls. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. How myself and Noah work together, being two different personalities, is that there's not much difference from me to him. When I was younger, I was very quiet, you know, to myself, you know, kind of shy and angry like he is, you know, type of thing, and for what reason, I don't know. But then I just started kind of, I guess, knowing myself, being comfortable with myself. And then once you start to know your true self, once you start to become comfortable with your true self, then that your real juice starts to come out, you know? And then so now this is where this teacher, this educator, this sharer, this guy has come out, because now this is the real me. This is the real me, you know? The racer was a time in my life, but all that was to build this person. All the trials and tribulations and highs and lows and challenges and all that I went through was only to educate this teacher, so then I can help the sport as much as I possibly can, you know? And so with Noah, to be a good coach, you have to be a chameleon, meaning you have to be able to work with each rider differently. Some you can just beat to death, some you got a pity patter, you know? And for him, you know, I just stick to my deal. I don't really, you know, sometimes he has his issue, I just don't listen. You know, I don't listen. I've been there before, you know, I've raised kids before. I mean, my son's 24, my daughter's 20, so I get it. You know what I mean? And I'm a holistic life coach, I'm certified, so I understand how to work with people. And sometimes people's complaints just need to be listened to, you know? And they just need to be ignored, and then they get it. oh, okay, that's just hot air. So with Noah, it's more just kind of, guiding. He has a ton of potential. He has a ton of talent. He has a ton of natural athletic ability and fitness. He has a very big natural engine. So now it's guiding this kind of, you know, this smart bomb, you know what I mean? Is putting in the things, because if I type one little thing wrong, man, that kid could go to left field, right? And so we got to make sure that this smart bombs is programmed, you know, precisely, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm not worried. I could care less if he wins right now. I could care less if he wins Loretta's anything. Is what I want to see is every week is progression, and I'm seeing that, you know, because nobody really heard of Noah. So just wait for 3 years, you know what I mean? And again, so it's a slow process, and everybody has to understand that this sport is it's a slow journey. And with the slow journey, it takes time to perfect all these little things that you need to know, learn, and change, right? So, but it's been fun. You know, his mom and dad are great. He's great. There's no issues. So I run the show, so it's Disneyland, you know? Remember, perfection doesn't exist in motocross. Precision. And if everything was perfect for me, motocross would be boring. I love the challenge of trying to figure it out. I love the challenge of trying to figure a tough, gnarly, crappy, shitty track out. Because I'm a master of it. And if you know that you're a master of it, then you want those challenges. You want those situations. All right? So learn to be a master of it, not just a fucking competitor or a participant. Okay? Because when you can learn to master something, then you learn to love it. And that's why you've seen me never go away from it. Right? And most people have. And then they come back, or they lollygag in it. Nah, I've been up to here in it for 38 years. Because I'm a master of it. Because I love when the challenge comes. I love when the you know, the fight comes that brings me to life. So let that happen to you. Work through it, figure it out. Okay, hey, I'm tired, fuck man, okay. Loose arms, breathe. Unlock those hips. Man, I gotta figure something out. Hey, I'm starting to get a little arm pump. Okay, hey, higher gear, look ahead. New lines, relax a little bit, slow it down a little bit. Hey, today's just not my day. I'm just gonna get through it. I'm just gonna work to just get through my time. You know, just on a bicycle, just like in a gym, just like anything. Some days you just feel tired in the gym. Some days you're just slow on the bicycle, but what do? Yell and scream and get pissed off? No, you just slow down. Just wait for the next day, because there'll be another one. All right, just like there's another moto. So figured out why you felt this way, and maybe it's just that first time, okay? So, Donzo. How I think and how I look at things are not different than any other sport, aren't different than anything that the body's been designed to do billions of years ago or whatever. And that's the thing, is people are trying to be too smart. That's what's happening, is they're trying to be too smart. I'm not trying to be smart, I'm trying to be logical. But when you look at, if you're trying to be too smart and you look at someone that's logical, then you think they're crazy. Because you're up here and they're down here. You're above them. You know what I'm saying? So you're thinking that they're crazy, but they're talking about simple things. So I came into the sport and really talked about technique and everybody started talking about, oh, hips out and making fun of it and this, that. Well, what's everybody doing right now? Exactly what I'm teaching for the last 12 years, okay? I came into sport, started talking about organic and eating out of glass jars and this. Everybody started making fun of it. What is everybody doing? Okay. I came into sport and I started teaching about gym workouts. This gym workouts, specific stuff, dynamic things, you know, all these stuff. And everybody's, oh, Ryno, you do too much gym stuff. What's everybody doing now? Gym. You know, everybody has a gym program. Everybody has a gym trainer, right? Okay, I brought supplements in. Brought some healthy supplements and everybody could trust. What's everybody doing now? Trying to bring supplements in. I talked about yoga and how hard yoga was and how important yoga was, and it's not just for old people. What's all the riders starting to do now? Yoga, okay? I came in and started talking about not wearing braces and taking braces off and how the body works and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. What did I do? I squashed the whole brace thing, right? Now I'm talking about trail running and getting away from bicycles, because bicycles slow down the core and everything comes from your core. And if you want to be faster on a motorcycle, shouldn't you speed up the body? Well, now what's everybody kind of starting to do? Run a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm so fucking crazy, well then why is everybody following my way? Everybody's following my way because it's logical. It's logical, it's simple. It's how we started to do it before everybody tried to be too smart. I'm not trying to be smart here, guys. I'm not a smart dude. I really am not. But I'm a very, 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 very brilliant man in certain areas. So I stay there. I stay where I'm brilliant. I don't go anywhere else, you know? And so that's kind of where, you know, it's a little bit kind of hard for me to understand where everybody follows my way, where all these top guys comment on my stuff, all these top guys follow me on Instagram and all this, but then they're afraid to put me in their corner. You put any of those fucking guys in my corner, I'll make them faster than anybody. I've done it to everybody. Every single person I have. But everybody's afraid. They want to stick with the same old thing. Let's go on the bicycle ride. Let's keep our heart rate at this. Let's do our planks. You know what I mean? Let's this and make sure we have our hair good. You know, and let's fall in line when we go on our bicycle rides. That's it. You know, this whole Eldon way is backwards, man. It's old. It's old, yeah, it can help the top guys, but it's not gonna develop anybody. It's actually gonna burn more people out than it's gonna help people. You know what I mean? It's not right, and just because he's one with a few people doesn't mean that it's the correct way for everybody. Because there's no way his way will develop a young rider. Impossible. It will burn a rider out. My way will develop a rider more than anything because I'm not burning the rider out. I'm challenging the rider, I'm progressing the rider, I'm teaching the rider, I'm educating the rider. You know what I'm saying? You heard those kids down there. You see how much they learned. That's what it's about. It's about learning. For me, it blows me away when I get a Sensorello and I get other people that have been to Eldon, I've been to other people, and they come to me and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Really? You've been training with this person? Yeah. Well, then why are you so uncoordinated? Why is your core like this? Why is your feet like this? Why do you eat like this? Why do you ride like this? Or I get people that have been with some riding coach, and in the first lap, I can see 3 problems that's holding him back. And I go, they've never identified those? No, they've just been lap times and motos. Okay, well, don't get mad at me when I see these things and other people don't, you know? So that's kind of what I get at, you know? Because once boredom kicks into a motocrosser, because you can't be a good motocrosser unless you have the so-called thing called ADD. You know, no, you have hyper focus. That's the problem. It's not ADD. It's hyper focus, and that hyper focus is seeing so many things at one time. Because what happens when you're riding a motorcycle? It's going so fast, and the conditions are changing at all times. So you have to have hyper focus to analyze that. So how can't you have that mindset? If that's what motocross takes, then it takes that type of person to have that hyper focus. Oh yeah, what, you know? But when something grabs your attention, then you can't even talk to the person, if that makes sense, right? Because it's hyper focus. Now this is something grabbed my attention, zoom. But when it doesn't have my attention, then everything grabs my attention. Yeah, so I get a lot of things about people say is Ryno okay? Well, am I okay? I'm perfectly okay. The reason that you think I'm not okay is because I'm living a little bit different than you. So let's look at it. 1, I don't collect a paycheck from anybody. I make my own paycheck. 2, I don't have to rely, nobody relies on me. I have no employees, my kids are growing, my ex-wife, I'm alone. 3, I don't have to collect a paycheck from any sponsor. I don't have to protect a sponsor. I don't have to protect a persona or a personality that I've created. You get what I'm saying? So with not having to protect anything, not having to live up to anything, not having to become anything, you become very dangerous to people. Meaning you can be so free to be, say, and do anything you want. And even look any way you want because you have nothing to live up to, nothing to protect, or nothing to kind of slide into because everybody wants you to be this way and talk this way and only say this. So for me, I've squashed it all. I've squashed it all because that's just a personality that you built up. And you have to let that go because it's all fake. So again, what I built up, what I created, what you guys are seeing in the rear view mirror is now gone now. So you guys have to open your eyes to something that's new and something that isn't dictated by this sport, by trying to be friends with people. Because I've told many people in the sport, I don't care to lose you as a friend to tell the sport the truth. You get what I'm saying? I don't care. I don't care to lose one friend to tell a million people the truth. And that's me. And so not too many people are that raw, that blunt, that I guess sure of themselves. So that's what makes me look like I've lost it a little bit. Me living on a mountain, I don't live on a mountain. I just live on Palomar Mountain, and I live off grid. I have solar, I have well, I have this. I actually have more than you do, but I choose to live a little bit more simple. I choose not to pay all these bills. I choose not to have to work all day long just to pay my bills. I choose to play all day long, so then, you know, I can have fun. So this is where it's a little bit different than the most, is that pretty much I don't have to protect anything. So that's why people think that I've gone a little crazy. Yeah. But what most people follow, anybody that's following any guru, any religion or anything, well, they're following somebody that was a rebel. And most people that follow Christianity, what did your man do? Went into the synagogues and turned over tables and said, get the hell out of here. He was a rebel, my friends. He thought outside the box. So don't fall in the box.